This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-dos. Too busy with holiday plans to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy. When you're too busy running around to plan lunch, Factor has you covered with lunch to go. Effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls and salad toppers that are ready to eat when you're on the go, no microwave required. Head to factormeals.com/MC911pod50 and use code MC911pod50 to get 50% off. That's code MC911pod50 at factormeals.com/MC911pod50 to get 50% off. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Whether your resolution is to save money, eat better, or stress less, HelloFresh is here to help you do all three. Say hello to your most delicious year yet with fresh ingredients and chef-crafted recipes at a price you'll like delivered right to your door. So you've resolved to actually sit down and eat dinner around the table, but what do you do about those nights when your schedule is packed? Turn to HelloFresh's lineup of quick and easy meals, including their 15-minute recipes designed to help minimize mealtime stress. Every single meal I've had from HelloFresh has had easy-to-follow instructions, fresh ingredients, and when it's done, I feel like I'm out at my favorite restaurant. Go to HelloFresh.com/MC911free and use code MC911free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/MC911free with code MC911free. In this episode, I have some cases that couldn't be further apart from each other. I can think back over almost any day I'm working at dispatch, and the calls like this could easily come back to back. I might get a call about a potential kidnapping, and then the very next call is something to do with having police stand by while a couple exchange children, just so there won't be any problems that might arise out of just one parent handing off their children to another. Other times, we might have multiple victims shooting, and then the next time the phone rings, we get a bouncer at a bar who's trying to throw out some tourist who thought that 8th cocktail was a good idea, even though they can't stand anymore and don't know where they're staying at. So without getting into further details, let's just say that these are very far removed from each other in almost every way possible. Welcome back to another episode of Music City 911. A very little bit about these calls that I'm going to be playing, at least the first ones. I get my calls from a variety of different sources. Sometimes straight from the agency themselves. Others, I'll have them after they've already been publicly released. And a couple, as you've heard in the past, were kind of poor audio that was recorded while the call was being played inside a courtroom. These I'm about to play, I believe they came from something similar, but I can't be certain about it. There's some background noise that I've tried to clean up a little bit, but it's still audible. It sounds like the recordings were not straight from a computer, but recorded from an outside source being probably played through a speaker, so you hear some of that background noise. Even with that though, The calls themselves, they're all actually not horrible as to the quality of the voices, so it won't be too hard to understand what's going on. With that being said, here's the first call.
911, do you need police, fire, medical?
Yes. We need a car here at 1231 Temple Drive, Winter Park, Florida. There's a woman that's a danger to herself and to others right now.
A gentleman that's a danger to
Pardon me? Pardon me?
The address.
1231 Temple Drive, Winter Park, Florida.
No. Okay, stay on the line. I'm going to have to transfer us over to Winter Park. Let me talk first when they answer, okay?
You better go in your room. Please dance.
911, do you need police, fire, or medical? This is Seminole to transfer for police at 1231 Temple Drive.
Yes. Yeah. Please. Go in your room. Will you stop? Oh, all right. I will call you back. I will call you back in 5 minutes. I'll call you back in 5 minutes.
What is going on there? Hello? Winter Park, this is... Yeah, I'm still there. He didn't give me a lot of information. He just said that there was a woman who was a danger to herself.
Okay. And that was it?
Yeah, that's all. And he called on a 911 only phone, so...
Okay. And I just want to confirm, he told you 1231 Temple Drive?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Seminole.
No problem.
All right. Bye-bye.
A lot of agencies have a policy in place that in any domestic situation or potential domestic situation, if the phone call hangs up, you don't call it back. This is in place for a number of reasons, but the main one is so if the other party who isn't making the call doesn't know that the caller is talking to the police, they won't find out by receiving a return phone call, which could escalate things. I believe this is what would have happened here, aside from one issue that I'll discuss here in a second. This is why I think that there was no callback after the call was disconnected. You could tell that the female in the situation knew he was calling police, but even with this, policy would dictate not calling back. I agree with the policies like this. In a domestic situation that is or could potentially become violence, very small things can jump things up to another level. You don't want that to happen at all. The primary goal from any dispatcher is to try and keep everyone as safe as possible. It's a lot like the first line in the Hippocratic Oath, which is a set of ethics taken by medical professionals, which states, first, do no harm. So you don't want to complicate things even further. All this doesn't really matter, though. The caller couldn't be called back. The dispatcher could be heard telling the other one that he called from a 911 number. What that means is it's a disconnected cell phone. What we normally see when someone calls 911 from a cell phone is the phone number they're calling from along with some sort of location information. If someone dials from a disconnected phone, which you can do, the number that shows up starts with a 911 area code and is then followed up by a random set of numbers that does not correspond with the caller's original phone number at all. If you try to call that number back, you won't reach them. It'll just dial straight back into 911. So his was a situation like that. Even if their policy allowed, the dispatcher couldn't have called back to get any further info. Back to the call, he says that he wanted to report someone who was a danger to herself and others. The female in the back could be heard saying that he's the one who was a danger to others. There was some talk going back and forth between the two parties, but it was kind of hard to understand. You can hear the man asking the woman to go back into her room several times. It sounded like he was trying to de-escalate the situation by asking her to remove herself to a different room on top of calling the police to ask for help. He later said a few times that he would call back in 5 minutes. After he hung up, the two dispatchers talked for a few seconds about what he said. It was enough for police to respond and try to see what was happening. Police did respond to the address that was given and were met with a caller who stated the female had been drinking and that there was a verbal argument and also that the female involved was already asleep. As I said in previous episodes in a roundabout way related to this, when police get to the scene, the initial caller for something like this can change their story very quickly. Being they had very little to go on past what the caller was saying when they got there, I believe the police just went on the caller's word and left the scene without making any sort of arrest. Without getting too in-depth with the details past that, I'll just say that this call was received on February 4th of 2018. The next call we'll listen to, it came in much later.
Can we call your medical? I don't know. I think my husband's deceased. There's been a tragedy at my home. What's the address up there? 1231 Temple Drive, Winter Park. Okay, yeah, Winter Park jurisdiction. Let me get their fire department on the line. Hold on one moment.
Winter Park number 1, you need police, fire, or medical.
This is somehow with a medical transfer for 1231 Temple Drive in Winter Park.
Alrighty, 1231 Temple Drive, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Alright. Okay, thank you. What's going on at 1231 Temple Drive?
I believe my husband is deceased.
Okay. And why do you believe he's deceased?
Because he's been, he's stiff and he's been wounded. He might have had a heart attack. I don't know.
Okay. Did you just find him?
No, actually, it happened last night.
It happened last night?
Correct.
Okay. How old is your husband?
He's 65.
Second. So did you find him this morning? Because I know you said that you believed it happened last night. Did you see him last night? Was he okay, or was...
He was not okay last night. We had altercation, and he stabbed himself, and I ran into the bathroom, and then when I came out, I tried to help him, and I saw he was lying in blood. And then I tried to help him, and I couldn't. Correct. Yes. And then I tried to help him, and I woke up with sitting up next to him, and I've been trying to figure out what to do.
Right. I got you. I'm going to get you some help, hon. So you all had an altercation last night, correct?
Yeah.
All right. What's your name?
Danielle.
Are there any weapons on scene now?
Knife.
A knife?
Mm-hmm.
And you said he was 64, right?
65.
I'm sorry?
65.
65. So, okay. Go ahead and give me your first name again, because I don't want to call your name.
Danielle.
Danielle. Okay, so Danielle, let me ask you this. So, did he stab himself last night and he passed last night, and you just didn't know what to do?
Correct, I believe so, yes.
Okay. Were you all drinking?
He was.
He was?
Yes, he was. And altercation was the night before, too, but I left the house and took my children with me because he was drinking them, too.
Mm-hmm. Were your kids there last night during this altercation?
No, they were not. They were not here, and they're not here now.
I know you first said that you thought he had a heart attack. So do you think it was a heart attack, or do you think it was due to the stabbing that he passed away?
Probably the stabbing triggered it, I guess. I don't know. It's a shoulder wound.
You say it's a shoulder wound?
Right.
I'm just getting all this information. Okay. How old are you, huh?
I'm 45.
I'm just getting everything you told me into the call, okay? I have multiple units throughout, meaning I have police and fire. Go ahead and give me your husband's first name.
Michael.
Michael. What's his last name, huh?
Redlick, Redlick.
Go ahead and give me his date of birth.
5/1/53.
If you're new to the show and haven't worked your way back through the hundreds of calls I've played, or if you're just new to listening to 911 calls in general, you might not have picked up some of the huge variations of what was said there. I'm hoping, though, that just about anyone could have caught them. This female caller, who was the same female as in the first call, she states that her husband is dead. Deceased is her exact wording. When asked what happened, she says she thinks he had a heart attack and that he was stiff. She later states that he stabbed himself after some sort of a altercation between the two of them. She doesn't go into specifics, but does say that they were fighting the night before too. Later, when asked if she thought the death was a result of the heart attack or the stab wound, which she says was a shoulder wound, she replies that she believes that it's a heart attack that was brought on by the stabbing. I'm not sure how she would go on to that conclusion, though. Also, she stated all this happened last night, not something that had just occurred. So let's get into some of the details of what happened here. The initial male caller, his name is Michael Redlick. He once was an MBA executive before moving to the University of Central Florida for a position there. The female caller, his wife, her name is Danielle Redlick. She was not Michael's first wife. The wife previous to her, well, that's where it gets a bit odd. It was Danielle's mother. She was Michael's stepdaughter. Her mother died of cancer just a few months after they had gotten married. So from the very start of this, it's a bit weird. Leading up to what happened with the 911 calls, the two didn't have the greatest of relationships. There were instances before all this went down. From all indications, it seems like Danielle is a full-on mean drunk. I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but one of the witnesses in the case, a friend of Danielle's, was interviewed by police. To preempt this, the witness did not know what had happened to Michael. At most, she may have heard through friends that he had passed away due to a heart attack. That was all that was initially released to anyone. During some questions, the witness stated that Danielle was out with her one night and had some drinks. After around drink number 5, she got a very wild look and for no reason started punching the witness. In 2016, police were out on patrol and just found her out on the street being belligerent and violent towards anyone else there in Winter Park. They completed what's called a Marchman Act on her, which would indicate some sort of substance abuse. Later that year, police were called because of an argument she had with Michael. During talking with police, she refused to write a statement, got upset, and then just left the building. Fast forward to 2018, and Danielle was arrested for battery on an officer and firefighter, resisting an officer with violence, and disorderly intoxication when her and Michael were in another altercation. She was being treated by the fire department for some unknown injuries, but while that was happening, she started saying what was considered vulgar comments to the paramedic helping her. She then tried to push and then punch the paramedic. Officers that were there tried to restrain her, and then she tried to bite one of them. The initial 911 call that we heard came in 9 days after that incident occurred. Jump to the second 911 call. That came in the next year, 2019, on January 12th. The call was placed at 9:28 in the morning. We know what she said happened there on the 911 call. But, for me anyway, red flags were flying really high in my head. I mean, a team of flag holders on top of the Empire State Building, waving them like they're trying to take off flying. That type, flying high. When police got to the scene, they found a very gruesome looking crime scene, but one that you would not really think. I'll get into that in a second. Danielle continued with the same story initially when police got there. She told both police and detectives that she was eating a McDonald's hamburger in the kitchen, and without giving very much reason as to why, she stated that Michael grabbed the burger, took a bite of it, and then spit it in her face. A fight broke out after that, and she reached into her drawer for a knife to try to defend herself. Michael then grabbed the knife from her and started making stabbing type motions towards himself. At that point, Danielle said that she ran to the bathroom and said she was at the bathroom door when Michael showed up and started yelling that he was going to send her to jail, and kept saying Sam Katie, which is a reference to the movie Cape Fear, but then went quiet. Danielle also told police and detectives that after waiting a while, she went out to check on him and found a blood trail leading from the bathroom, which was in the master bedroom, out to the living room where he was lying down. She stated that she tried to find the phone to call for help, but couldn't find it, and after figuring out that he wasn't breathing, tried to perform CPR on him using chest compressions and mouth-to-mouth for a long time, and then became exhausted. At one point, she stated that Michael had vomited during CPR. She said she went to sleep after that and woke up the next morning to find the same scene, and then she cut her own wrist before calling 911. That was her story. Detectives found a ton of holes in her story, and even a few funkier red flags as well. Police walked in and found a pile of blood-soaked towels. There were also circular blood stains like someone had tried to clean up the mess. There was also a bloody mop and a mop bucket filled with a pink liquid nearby. I should also note that Michael's shirt, also bloody with a tear in it that was consistent with where the wound was, it was at the bottom of the bloody towels, indicating that it was taken off after the stabbing. He was stabbed in the shoulder, just like she said. Also, there was no vomit to be found anywhere on him. Detectives also found a bloody container in the trash for the McDonald's she said she was eating. There was no remnants of a burger or fries, which was indicated by the receipt what was bought. So that must have been fully eaten and then discarded after the stabbing. Some of the red flags I was talking about that the detectives figured out during the autopsy, they found bruising on Michael's arm that appeared to be defensive. There was also a wound to his forearm that looked like it came from a fingernail. He had a bruise on the inside of his lip, and there was also no bruising on his chest that would have indicated that he had CPR performed on him. Also, just to put a nail in the head, there was no signs of a heart attack. They also found what appeared to be egg whites on his pants. Past that, they found broken eggs in the driveway in front of the house, and also more broken eggs inside of his car, which was pretty weird to begin with. In the 911 call from Danielle, the dispatcher asked if they had been drinking. She said that he had, but she hadn't been drinking. She was found, after all this, to still have alcohol in her system 13 hours after the death had taken place. Several empty wine bottles were found close by as well. In all likelihood, if she still had booze in her system that long after all this went down, she was probably very drunk when all this happened, which also plays into the whole belligerent past that she's had when she has been drunk. She initially stated that the reason she didn't call the night before is that she couldn't find her phone. That also was found out to be a lie. Records showed that she had tried to dial 911. Not sure if she hung up immediately before calling or if 911 hit twice like that right together from a cell phone just wouldn't let her dial through. I'm not really sure about that part. Also, past that on her phone, detectives figured out that she had deleted all text messages between her and her husband. The fact that she tried to clean up the scene was another huge red flag. One of the bigger red flags, though, and doesn't immediately contradict her story, but it does sort of go against it, she had an online dating profile. That in and of itself is not some sort of a big piece of evidence, but sometime after the killing, she got on and started checking her dating messages. While her husband's lying there dead just feet away from her, she was messing around on a dating app that she'd been a member of. This is an ongoing case, and by that I mean the trial just started a few days ago. It's still at trial. You can keep up with it. Since this has been going on, Danielle changed her story around. Again. Now she's saying that she actually did stab him, but it was in self-defense. That argument that they were having that night, she says it got physical, and she was just trying to defend herself. It is entirely possible that that's what happened, but likely, that just doesn't seem so to me. As I said, this whole thing is still ongoing, and it's turning out to be kind of a big trial. So if y'all wanted to look this up again, her name is Danielle Redlick, and you can Google and find all sorts of information about what's going on. Daily updates from multiple sources and videos from the trial itself. And as I said, I've got a couple different calls. The first case there, obviously that was involving a potential murder. This next one, extremely far removed, and this is kind of a bonus little thing here, not related at all to it. But unfortunately, this is a type of call that we get pretty frequently, as I've said in episodes before, and I don't see him stopping anytime soon. Get prepared for this one. I'll say that they stayed on the phone with this person for about 10 minutes, so it's going to be a little bit of a longer call, and it's just non-stop train wreck from start to finish.
Yes, I'm at McDonald's. I'm 5 months pregnant. These people don't know how to run a McDonald's. I done came to the drive-thru. No, come on. I want my money. They trying to cheat me out my money. I want my money. I'm not going nowhere. The police will have to get here.
Hunter, I have it, honey. Thank you, man.
Come on, I'm going to expect the money we going to go. God, this ain't your song. Shut up. No, they still work here if they don't know how to run no business. And that's as simple as that. I don't give a fuck about no police. The talking about she can't serve me. I gotta get my back or my cheeseburger, my money. That's my one. What? She paid for her food. What's the problem? That's how I be so pregnant off. That's how I be so pregnant off. What you? No. No. We need to go. Come on. I'll come back out. I'll get the refund later. Come on. No, I want my refund now. I want my money. Girl, I've been on the phone with the police. So you told me you could serve me. Exactly. Give my refund because I know y'all damn wrong. Why not? You didn't even know. No. Stop the talking to me. No, I did not. No, I did not. I know all this shit over just the fuck I did. I've been waiting for 15 minutes for you to tell me you're not going to serve me. You can't pull up nothing. Girl, I'm not going to do all that about no food that I paid for. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not going to do all that. You're not the killers. I didn't hit nobody. I didn't put my hands on nobody. So don't try to sit up here and lie on me. You mad because I smell all these clothes. Yes, because I want my money. I don't give a I ain't put my hands on nobody. Cause we cool. I ain't got to. Girl, I don't care about none of that. Girl, your last phone off. Shut up talking to me. Girl, shut up talking to me with your butt teeth looking ass. Girl, your hair is fading. Like you. She done. Is this you the manager? How old are you? Girl, I'm not going to do it. You're just do your job. Girl, instead of escalating. No, you talking back to us instead of just doing your job. Instead of just doing your job. You was waiting around here for like 15, 20 minutes. How was you doing your job if you gave the guys a receipt? Why you couldn't talk about? No, I started everything up when a bitch said it went up pay me. So we are your slurs, and why you came up to us to talk to us for it? Why? Everybody already knew what we had going on. Everybody else already knew we had food waiting. People waiting for 15.
Hello, I'm here.
Where is the police?
They're on the way there.
I need cameras being pulled up.
What's your name, there? What's your name?
They trying to say I put my hands. I'm gonna show y'all. I ain't put my hands on nobody. And I want my money. Because I will sue McDonald's about my money. Let me see your receipt. Got somebody else already got your receipt. You think I just be sitting there? Here's one. Pull up. You couldn't even hear us right. Pull up. That's all you're Girl, with your faded ass hair. Girl, you need to go fix your hair. Come on. We ain't running from nobody. Girl, who you think we running from? Nobody. Man, just done your job. Yeah.
Hey there, what's your name?
Are we running? We're right here. Ain't nobody running. Talking about you got a tag. She's talking about we running. Ain't nobody running. I ain't scared of nobody. Now you just making us stay here longer. Oh, now we can go. You calling the police, right? You gonna wait right here. Ain't nobody running. Dang, you need another manager. Girl, you are ugly as a bitch. Oh, God. How many people don't want us to asking us what we were missing? That would make no sense. How many people? Look at your camera. Talking about ain't no fraud. You don't want to take no responsibility for what was happening, but you do it the whole time. So, hello?
I'm here.
No, they didn't. What am I money? She got your money? How much? Count it. It's right now. It's 21. 15. Let me see the receipt. This is the receipt. Is that the receipt? So you start talking about. You go. For real. And I'm fighting look better than you. Why am I fighting this look better than you? Wait a minute. Stop. You think you're fucking fool yourself. Girl, you go fix our house. Call the police and take pictures of my tag. I got what I wanted. I got what I really wanted was for food. What she really wanted was for food. 911, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was asking your name, but you're not responding. What's your name?
So she done gave me my refund. She done gave my mama my refund and my receipt. She was acting like she couldn't pay me because they know they was very wrong, and I wasn't leaving until I got my refund. She knew I was gonna sue. She need my money. Now she wanna give a bitch their money. Talking about I put my hands on y'all. Girl, run up them cameras, girl. Girl, a bitch ain't put their hands on nobody. Look, take these drinks. Take these drinks.
Okay, you're going to wait there to make contact with the unit, with the deputy?
They're mad. They knew the police come. They wanted to make sure they was on point. Oh, yeah, we gave them their money. But, girl, what the was saying before that? You ain't want to give me my money. It was now get out my store. No, you won't give my money. What you talking about? These people mad. That picture, oh, she better have not, because I would have. I knew how to push her away and had to pull her away. Like, you coming up with a pregnant lady for what? I really should say. Anger issues? No, I'm going to say. No, I'm going to say. No. Yeah, I'm going to drop the kids off. I'm going to come right. They need to go to jail. No, because I did see her trying to put her hands on me like, girl, I ain't pregnant. I'm going to have the people run up the camera. You know you can just call Jeremy and tell him you want to sue? Yeah. And go to the hospital and say it cost you that. Cause you that lady really run up like she was gonna go hit you in your stomach. You seem like you about to stress out and you about to faint like right now. Like you really need to go to the hospital, like for real. You know, I'm think that lady right now she's gonna run up on you and you pregnant. All you wanna do was your damn face. And then she only hitting me too. Like I'm gonna go get her. They need to be. And they had to pull her away from me. Like she was running up on pregnant lady for what? I love Leah because Leah she really did push that girl hard. And I'm not going to deny. I had to push her to as hard as her not to hit me. She was like, girl, that's all. I was like, they only got an employee. I was a pregnant lady. Like this. I said, Leah, I'm trying to be calm and they come up piss me off. I hit my sister for it. So cool. I don't know why. Now they want to get their money. She was seeming like, oh, because they knew the police was coming. The police is coming, and now you're telling them to get out the store, really? No, I want my refund. I want my refund or my food. That's what I said. I said I want my refund or I want my food. As soon as they had the police coming, oh, I gave your mom the money. Oh, now you want to give my mama the money. No, I'm going to go back. One day they ask me to go to jail. They need to run up them damn cameras. Just through the building, the teacher. Talking about you ain't gonna serve me. Girl, I done gave y'all some money. Talking about you ain't gonna serve food. Girl, that's $25 worth of food. Girl, you was crazy. You're trying to go behind that counter to fight you. You saw that? I know she had lost her damn mind. There's the police everywhere. Look at the police. We love y'all. We love y'all. Y'all good brother. It's okay, I'm gonna go back. They looking for somebody over here because they got dogs over here and everything. They got a perimeter and everything. I don't know who they look for. And that's crazy. Like, I just...
So yet another dispute at a fast food restaurant. This one was one of the worst ones I've heard. Maybe not the worst, but definitely on up there. There is a small amount of video that goes along with this one that shows the caller going behind the counter, knocking things off the shelves and the counter itself, and throwing things at employees. After relatives convinced her to leave, on her way out, she bent over and started twerking towards the employees. The local sheriff's department showed up and took her into custody, charging her with criminal mischief, burglary with assault, which was brought on by her going into an unauthorized area, and by that, I mean behind the store's counter, as well as, and I love this one, misuse of 911. Local sheriff, good old Grady Judd, which I'm sure you've seen in videos, he made a comment about this suspect that is more than fitting, and one that I've said quite a few times myself. She was a few fries short of a Happy Meal. Before I go today, I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Scott Johnson, who has a podcast that I've talked about before in the past. Me and Scott chat about podcasting related stuff almost daily, as well as just about anything else too. One thing I really love about this whole podcasting community, I've met some outstanding people that are willing to help out and chat in a number of ways. He's no different than that, and his show was a good reflection of how good of a person he is. His show was really good. The name of his podcast is What Was That Like? And in each episode, he interviews someone who has been in a very unique situation. In his last episode, he interviewed someone who was involved in a rollover in a car crash, ejected from her car, and was then called on a power line. Like I said, his interviews are with people who have gone through some extraordinary situations. I highly suggest anyone to check that out. Again, his show is called What Was That Like? And also, I want to do my general housekeeping here by letting you all know to follow me on social media, especially the Music City 911 podcast discussion group on Facebook. Know that you can get ad-free episodes and now bonus content on Patreon. And also, that if you haven't done so already, feel free to drop a good review on my show on whatever platform you're listening on. But that'll do it for this episode. And until next time, for Music City 911, I'm Brandon, and y'all have a good one.